My girlfriend comes from a wealthy background and grew up with maids, chefs, chauffeurs, etc. I was raised in a completely opposite environment and still adjusting to dating someone like her. When we're not with her parents, we spend a lot of time at one of her apartments. Here's the issue. My girlfriend likes to walk around home barely wearing anything, which is fine. Awesome even. But she does this even when the help are around. For example, last month her family hired a new driver for her. He stopped by the apartment to introduce himself. She was only wearing underwear. Keep in mind, this is the first time they've met in person. I felt awkward. He was visibly awkward and she didn't give a shit at all. She was casually chatting to him while scrolling away on her phone. She does this all the time. She doesn't think that she needs to wear any decent amount of clothes at all when people that work for her are around. She will casually walk around wearing just a thong or a tiny crop top. Just a crop top. Nothing else. She even does this with complete strangers. One time she opened the door for the delivery guy wearing only a see-through gown. You could see everything. Afterwards, I talked to her about it and she was utterly confused as to why I felt uncomfortable. Then she laughed and told me to stop being a jealous baby. She even said that I'm being unreasonable. We had another discussion about this yesterday and I told her that she probably wouldn't feel comfortable if I did the same. She said that she doesn't understand why I care what her staff think and that it never even crossed her mind that this is inappropriate. She told me that she only does this in the comfort of her own home and not in front of actual people. So she doesn't consider the people that work for her actual people. She got kind of mad at me and vented to her friends. According to all of them, I'm weird for having a problem with this and an asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up. Somehow, I'm the villain of this story. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up her body when strangers enter the home?
Am I wrong for rejecting someone's request to propose at my wedding? My husband and I got married last month and had a small and wonderful wedding. 2 weeks before the wedding, my best friend / maid of honor's boyfriend asked if it would be okay to propose during my reception. I first told him how thrilled I was that he was going to propose to my best friend and how excited she would be, but I really wasn't comfortable with him proposing during the wedding, at least as a public thing. He seemed totally shocked that I said no, which I can understand. He said that weddings are supposed to be about celebrating love and that as her best friend, I should want them to finally be engaged after 11 years together. I absolutely want that for them, but I just didn't understand why it needed to happen during the 5.5-hour window of my ceremony / cocktail hour / reception. I was very apologetic and offered to help however I could with the proposal on any other day, but he was very clearly not happy with me. I haven't heard from my maid of honor since the wedding, which is probably the longest we've ever gone without talking. I had tried several times to get in touch with her and let her know at one point that I had something of hers she had lost at the wedding. Never got a response. I texted the other day saying I was going to drop the lost item off at her house so she'd have it, and she finally responded. Apparently, during the after party at the hotel bar, my maid of honor's boyfriend got very drunk and told her that she would have been engaged that night if I hadn't ruined his plan. She says she isn't exactly mad at me, but she feels like her future engagement is ruined and that I denied her a chance at happiness. Whoa, what? Okay. Another mutual friend who knows what's going on says she doesn't... Another mutual friend who knows what's going on says she doesn't love that he planned to propose at the wedding, but thinks I was the asshole ultimately for saying no. Oh, no, hell no. What the F? Get out of here trying to propose at my wedding. It's fine if people say yes to it. More power to you. But if I say no, I might... What? The entitlement of some people. Get the hell out of here. Am I the asshole for giving my son the same name as an ex and not telling my husband? Absolutely. I haven't even read the story yet, but I'm already saying asshole, asshole, asshole. You can't do stuff like that. Why? Like, that's shady. That's shady because if the roles were reversed, if a guy named a daughter an ex's name, you would be livid. Let's not lie. So, I'm 32 female and my husband is also my age. We met in grad school 9 years ago, got married 5 years ago, and have a 3-year-old son, Isaiah. His name isn't Isaiah, but something like it. Similar and traditional without being overly common for boys in North America. It was recently homecoming weekend and my 10-year reunion from my undergrad. My husband knows that I had one serious relationship in undergrad. It lasted 2 years with someone named Ben. My relationship with Isaiah was not as serious as it was with Ben, and since I lived away from home, I never introduced my family to Isaiah. What he doesn't know is that I also dated Isaiah for 6 months after. I never told him because I liked that name as a baby name. I didn't want to concern them with the new relationship either, as I didn't enjoy having to announce my breakup with Ben to the whole family. So we're in my college town for the weekend and out to dinner. Isaiah walks in with some of his old friends and immediately comes up to us and introduces himself to my husband. Since his name isn't super common, I see my husband almost say, "You have the same name as our son," but he stops himself and I can tell his brain is connecting the dots. Ooh, you got busted. Look at that Morphe highlighter. We leave the restaurant and when we're getting ready for bed, he confronts me about Isaiah. I admit to it. I apologize and stress that it wasn't a serious relationship. We were both graduating and didn't want to stay together. I don't think of adult Isaiah when I see our son either. Doesn't matter, fam. Wrong. My husband says that if we have a daughter, he wants to name her after one of his exes during the fight. This makes me feel like shit and I realize I may have been the asshole. So can you guys tell me, am I the asshole here? Yes! God, like, so here's the thing. It's worse when you hide it and then they find out later. right? You know how people like to say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. That's not in all situations. Because here, if you had described to him, like, hey, I love this name. Actually, wait, I kind of understand both, because like, what if you never saw Isaiah ever again in your life and you're like, fuck it, I really like this name and I have no connection to him. Have I not been wearing 2 earrings this whole time? Malala. It doesn't matter because you only see this side anyway. Yeah, you just gotta discuss these things. You say, hey, by the way, this was an ex's name, but I have 0 attachment to him. I don't like him at all. I just really love the name. What do you think? And if he doesn't like it, then you have to respect it. You were deceptive.
Am I the asshole for refusing to stop having girls' nights in just because my boyfriend thinks it's wrong? Hi. I know, it's off to a solid start. Yeah. Hi, so I've been seeing this guy, Will, 27 male, for months now. He's so sweet and funny and creative. We don't live together, but we do meet at my place every weekend. He called and asked what we will be doing on Friday, and I said I wanted to host a girls' night in, since it was my turn. He asked what the heck a girls' night in was, and he got quiet, then asked if I was being serious. I was confused, as he started talking about how outdated and so 1950s these events are, and said that I should stop promoting and advocating for those events, as they're so toxic and flat out reek of misogyny.
Okay.
I was shocked by his long rant, but he said that that was his honest opinion. I told him regardless, I still plan to host the event after he tried talking me out of it and suggested we go out together. He threw a fit after he suggested bringing his guy friends to join us, and I refused, since this is not how GNIs work. He called me a sexist and misogynistic for having a girls' night in and making it so obvious instead of being ashamed of myself. He said that my mentality will cause me issues in the future, especially if I behave like that in a professional work setting. Let me tell you, I was blown away by how he got so worked up like that over me just missing my girls and wanting to spend time with them. We argued some more and he hung up on me after I said I will not stop hosting or being a part of girls' night ins. I tried to call and apologize for lashing out later, but he sent a text saying he was hurt by how I handled our small disagreement and needs time to process what he just found out about my personality. Am I the asshole for making this my hill to die on?
There's a lot to unpack here. Fuck your boyfriend, girl. Like, that's my advice to you. But also, misogyny, like, you don't even know the definition of that term.
No. He is so confused.
Yeah, he's like, what are some big words that will confuse her? Mm-hmm. And also the gaslighting, too, at the end, where he's like, you really hurt me. You deciding to have a girls' night in with your girlfriends, that really hurt me because you clearly hate me. What a weird reaction to girls' night in.
It's girls' night in.
She doesn't even want to go out.
They're not even going out.
Yeah, she's like, we're going to stay inside and talk shit. Like, that's pretty much all we're going to do. So, what's the problem?
Is he confused? Like, is he, like, genuinely confused about what this entertains? Like, what does he think happens at girls' night in?
Yeah. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she's the reason I will never adopt? I, 30 female, have 3 bio siblings, 37 male, 36 male, 33 female, and then a sister, 31 female. My sister, who I will call Becky, her bio mom is my mom's cousin. The story of Becky getting adopted by my parents was basically her bio parents were addicts that just came one day out of the blue for a visit, then abandoned her at my house. She was 5 weeks old. For a few weeks, they tried to get my cousin's family to take her, but those assholes didn't want the shame of a baby with medical issues that was born out of wedlock. My parents fell in love with Becky, and the rest was history. Thankfully, all Becky really needed was love and a good home. She beat a lot of odds and leads a healthy, successful life. My parents never hid the fact that Becky was adopted. She is biracial, and we all learned about her heritage growing up. Everything was perfect till her parents reached out when she was 22 that they were clean and they wanted a relationship. In the space of a few months, she became a different person. It was like she hated us for taking her away from her biological parents. And as soon as she finished college and got the $20,000 check, My parents gifted her. It's a startup we all got. She ghosted us and sent a letter to my parents telling them that if they ever tried to contact her again, she would file a restraining order. She got married and none of us even knew. Her mother passed away when she was 26, which led her father to relapse. Then he unfortunately died 8 months later. After Becky reached out, my parents welcomed her back with open arms, but I still can't. Which leads to now, me and my husband recently had a baby via IVF after 6 years of trying, 5 natural. I brought my son to meet the family tonight, and after dinner, the girls of us were in the living room. I thought up how he was worth everything, explaining my struggles, and that I'm going to start naturally trying soon so he will have a sibling. Becky made a comment about why we didn't look into adoption since the world was already overpopulated, and I told her. I said, honestly, we thought about it, but after all the shit you pulled, I'm afraid you're the reason I will never adopt. Becky got up and yelled at me to get over it already. Then she left, and my mother said that I shouldn't have spoken to her like that. So in the end, I ended up. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up her body when strangers enter the home? I am fully aware the title sounds sexist, but hear me out, please. My girlfriend comes from a wealthy background and grew up with maids, chefs, chauffeurs, etc. I was raised in a completely opposite environment, and I am still adjusting to dating someone like her. When we're not with her parents, we spent a lot of time at one of her apartments. Here's the issue. My girlfriend likes to walk around home barely wearing anything, which is fine. It's awesome. But she does this even when the quote-unquote help are around. For example, last month, her family hired a new driver for her. He stopped by the apartment to introduce himself. She was only wearing underwear. Keep in mind, this is the first time they've met in person. I felt awkward. He was visibly awkward, and she didn't give a shit at all. She was casually chatting to him while scrolling away on her phone. She does this all the time. She doesn't think she needs to wear any decent amount of clothes at all. When people that work for her are around, she will casually walk around just wearing a thong or a tiny crop top. Just a crop top, nothing else. She even does this with complete strangers. One time she opened the door for the delivery guy wearing only a see-through gown. You could see everything. Afterwards, I talked to her about it, and she was utterly confused as to why I felt uncomfortable. Then she laughed and told me to, quote unquote, stop being a jealous baby. She even said that I'm unreasonable. We had another discussion about this yesterday, and I told her that she probably wouldn't feel comfortable if I did the same. She said that she doesn't understand why I care what her staff think, and that it never even crossed her mind that this is inappropriate. She told me that she only does this in the comfort of her home and not in front of quote unquote actual people, i.e., people that don't work for her. She kind of got mad at me and she vented to her friends. According to all of them, I'm weird for having a problem with this, and I'm an asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up. Somehow, I'm the...
So my dad married somebody who was like 13 years younger than him after him and my mom divorced, because like I think he just wanted to restart his life and forget his first family. But I'm sorry. That was petty, and I apologize. Because my dad wanted to start over, we had to start calling her mom after 8 months of like meeting her, which was so weird because like my mom was alive. She sucked, but she was like alive. So within the first year of me knowing this woman, what does she and my dad do? My new mom, who's 20, she signs me up for fat camp. That's what she does. She signs me up for fat camp at Bushy Bond. Wasn't even a sleepaway one. Wasn't age appropriate. It was